Now, with the ebbs and flows in the market and with the volatility that's created in a fiat currency society, there are benefits to us as traders. But again, that makes it difficult and challenging at the same time. There are inherent risks with trading, and so we need to be aware of how these things affect us, how your country's operating, what fiscal policies are coming down the pipeline that you can be aware of. And this is all a part of the process. Now, let me open up one more article, and I want to talk to you about this concept. And these articles are going to also be posted on the site for your review. Okay, getting to know the major central banks. Okay, they affect the interest rates, they affect inflation, and they affect the buying power. And I'm just going to let you guys read through this article on your own. I don't want to belabor the issue, but just understand the main principles here. Pretty valuable information to understand. Now here, between 2002 and 2005, you have this growth rate that is just through the roof. Okay, this is unsustainable forever. You can't keep going up. There has to be a rest period. And we can see this in Mother Nature, where you have a winter or a death season. You have a spring, which is a renewal season, a summer, which is an aged season, and then you have fall, which is the decline season. Okay, so you have a peak, a maturity, a death, and a rebirth. And that's how you see that pattern in all forms of economies, whether it's a person's household, whether it's a farmer's farm, whether it's a businessman's store. You know, there's going to be ebbs and flows. There's going to be peak seasons and there's going to be weak seasons. And that is just the cycle of life and living and producing. Okay. In a fiat currency economy, that is unsustainable. You can't do that without having major risks, major problems. But what happens is, because the governments want to maintain and control what's going on, they will keep creating a false sense of security by printing more money, which devalues the existing currency that's in circulation. And so the more they print, the more the value goes down, the less buying power you have. But what they're doing is they're creating money out of nothing, or creating money out of debt, creating slaves out of all of us. Now, it doesn't matter what country you're in, you are beholden to your government, not just by the laws that govern the country, but by the economy with which you have to operate in that country. Okay? The currency with which you use, the form of currency controls you. And because it's created out of nothing, and it's continually having to be fed, or it should say it's continually feeding debt, national debt, personal debt, consumer debt, all of those debts are being continually fed by this fiat currency money to debt program. So the ebbs and flows are really, this is not normal to see a complete uptrend. You guys look at the charts, you guys know what I'm talking about. There's ups and downs. Yeah, you see some bouncing here, but to have higher highs and lower highs, that's not an accurate reflection of reality. Okay, and you can look at any chart and I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. But so let's talk about really quick the 8 major central banks and how they who they are. Mainly what I want to focus on. You have the U.S. Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank, the Bank of England, the Bank of Japan, and the Swiss National Bank. Then we have the Bank of Canada, the Bank of Australia, and the Bank of New Zealand, or the Reserve Bank of New Zealand and the Reserve Bank of Australia. Okay. Putting it all together, we need to understand that they work together. And when we talked about in the first article that they control a nation or a group of nations' financial stability, they are all working together to ensure that. So as a trader, knowing that we're dealing with global currencies, We are dabbling in a fiat system. We need to recognize that and hedge ourselves accordingly. Like I said, it's perfectly fine to make hay while the sun shines and take advantage of the volatility in the market, but understand that that is not long-term stability. If we're trading this 6 months from now, a year from now, 20 years from now, terrific. But as the economy continues to be strained by the fiat money to debt plan, we are going to find that it may become, one, either difficult to do what we're doing, or the landscape may change slightly from time to time. And we've seen that happen with regulations that have come through, various issues where, for example, in the United States, we're not allowed to hedge anymore, or we can't have an offshore account anymore, things like that. We're going to start to see those types of things possibly affect us. But as traders, we can take advantage of the volatility, but understand that you're not trading intrinsic value for intrinsic value. You're trading a false or a fiat value which is subject to inflation and subject to any kind of a reset. Okay, so in retrospect here, the goal is to work together as an organization, as a trading community, to help each other gain as much ground as possible. And my goal would be to, on top of that, help to create a situation where each person in that organization can then start to build intrinsic value within their own personal portfolios. That's what I invite you to take part in and be aware of, and know that when we're in the inner circle and in the trading rooms and in our discussions, that's the overall goal, that's the overall direction that Kirk and I would like to see this thing go. Now, this is where the presentation pretty much ended, and then we went into our I actually got through this a little bit faster than I did the original, but you got a lot more meat out of it too. There's some parts that I failed to put in the first one, so this is beneficial for everybody. But this is where we went into the question and answer period and the discussion period. And again, I apologize for the technical failure. I had the video had just formatted and was ready for me to save, and when I went to save, the software froze up on me and did an automatic reboot, and I was unable to recover it. So I apologize for that. But again, this will be put out for replay, as well as be posted on the site, along with the articles that I've subscribed. Now, if you do see anything out there in the marketplace, in your research, in your news feeds, things like that pertain to what we're talking about here, please shoot me either the link or send me the article and give me a brief synopsis of what you're seeing and what it means to you, so that we can help formulate some thought behind the information. How it applies to you as a trader, what part of the world you're coming from, so we can kind of get an idea of what we're all facing, because that information is probably more valuable than the research that's being done, is what we're doing to address the issue. That's what I'm more interested in. So please, let's get involved, be active, and if you're struggling with understanding how this all works, ask questions. Let's get involved. Let's talk about this stuff on a regular basis. Shoot me emails, Skype me, whatever it's going to take to help facilitate the efforts. Anyway, I appreciate everybody's involvement, and I'm grateful to all those that helped participate in the original presentation. And I also wanted to thank Clark, give him again kudos for bringing to my attention these two articles that we shared from. I hope that this was beneficial to all of you, and I look forward to having you at our next session, where I believe what we'll be talking about is gold and silver. And in that presentation, we're going to have Larry Hilton actually give his presentation. Very excited about having him come. But if for some reason his schedule doesn't permit it to be the next session, it will be in one of the subsequent sessions thereafter, according as soon as I can finalize his schedule and calendar with mine, and hopefully we can get him here next Friday. Otherwise, I'll send out an email updating you on what the exact topic will be. Until then, I wish you happy trading, a wonderful weekend, and I bid you a farewell.